Nell, and I am in the tiny studio, and we are live. Um, it is Thursday, um, April the 18th, I think. April the 18th, and I am in the tiny studio. I had I think I told you that I am in grad school to, studying psychotherapy, clinical psychology, all of that great stuff. And today or this afternoon, I was supposed to be having a mock client session. And that is where I, as the budding psychotherapist, have a session or conduct a session with a person who is coming in for therapy. So I got the times mixed up. I was, sitting there on Zoom at 1:30 getting ready to, thinking I'm getting ready to complete this assignment. And guess what? 1:30 came and went, 1:38 came and went, 2 o'clock came, and I was like, hold up, hold up. So, around about 1:45, I contacted my fellow classmate. I was like, hey girl, hey. We're supposed to be having our client session today. And she was like, well, we're going to have to reschedule because, I forgot. And so, I had went through this thing where I was getting ready to have a panic attack and all of that great stuff, because I'm really serious about, being, really serious about, becoming a psychotherapist. And I'm really really passionate about the grades that I receive in my classes, my psychotherapy classes. So, yes, I was getting ready to have a panic attack, but I was able to dial it back because here's the thing, we all make mistakes. We all get caught up in our lives, and she has a family with children. She said that she had an emergency this morning with her daughter, and so she had to go to the doctor and all this stuff. And I had to remember, as a mom of four, even though my four children are adults now, I had to go back and remember what it was like to manage four children. And, things do come up. So that was another lesson for me to, instead of jumping to conclusions and going to the worst case scenario, what I need to do is I need to calm down and just wait and see how things play out. And then in the process, have another plan in place so that if I need to fall back on another classmate to get the assignment done, then I can. So, that was very interesting for me because, I have to record this session on Zoom. I'm I'm technologically savvy, but I'm kind of, apprehensive about using Zoom. So, that was something I was going through today. That's why I'm all glammed up. I have earrings and all that on. And I usually do get glammed up when I'm filming here in the tiny studio with you guys, but I'm extra glammed up today because my professor is going to be looking at the video. So, we're going to get together later on this afternoon, but I decided that I would just hop on live and we could just chat about whatever it is you would like to chat about, or you can listen to me talk about my anxiety. I've been dealing with anxiety for a very, very long time, and it stemmed from being a child. Um, as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And Jehovah's Witnesses go out into what we call the preaching work or field ministry, and we have to talk to strangers. And when you are a child and you are put in a position where you have to talk to strangers, that could cause anxiety. And so I had anxiety about really, talking to strangers and just going up to people, knocking on their door randomly and, giving them this, maybe 30-second presentation, Bible based presentation, and all of that. And so that created anxiety in me. When people talk to me, they automatically say, "Oh, you're just so open. You're just so, you're so open, and you're very conversational, and you just really love engaging with people." When in reality, I am a introvert that was forced to be an extrovert. So it's kind of, that was anxiety for me, getting out of the car and then going up to somebody's door and knocking on their door and saying, "Hi, my name is Tracy, and I would like to talk to you about Psalms 83:18, and may I read that to you?" That's a lot for a little kid. That's a whole hell of a lot. And so I've been working through anxiety for a very long time. I'm not really an extrovert. I'm really an introvert that was forced to work on an extrovert level. I'm really quiet. I'm really very shy. And when I am put in situations where I am forced to be, you know, putting myself out there, I give off the false impression that I am, you know, an extrovert, when no, I'm not. Not really. Not really. I'm very shy. So it takes a lot for me to step out of my shell and to interact with people, So, and it's something that I've practiced over the years. I've practiced being more out there and more upfront and open with people and engaging with people. But it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing at all. And I think that's why I have excelled as a writer, because I'm able to really express myself and put my feelings down on paper. I'm an artist. I like to express myself through other artistic mediums. And you know what? It's really something that I'm sitting here talking to you about this because I dreamed last night of my friend that passed, and it just came back to me. His name is Roland Benberry. He painted that beautiful um, picture that you see behind me, and he passed away. It's been a year, and since he passed away unexpectedly. And it's so ironic. I'm talking to you about being an introvert, and an introvert living an extrovert life. And this is something that we used to discuss together all the time, because he was, I had to stop saying that. He is, even though he's not here with us physically, obviously for me, he's still present. I don't want to start crying. But we used to talk about, as artists, being shy, and having people thinking that we were always the life of the party, or people love being around us, and that we attracted people to us because of our personalities, when in actuality we were, oh God, I'm not gonna start crying. When actuality we were introverts. We weren't that type of, we weren't naturally, we were shy, and that's what drew us to one another as artists and as friends, is that we were both shy, but people thought that we were, you know that we were, the just the life of the party, and that's really not it. That really wasn't who he was. He was the life of the party, but he was a very shy man. I know I'm not going to, I cannot believe I'm getting ready to start crying. Oh my God. Ugh. So anyhow, I dreamed about him last night. And I don't know, maybe it's just this feeling that's come over me. Um, I dreamed about him, and we were talking, and I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, but we were just talking to each other, and I miss I miss the conversation, because I really feel that when you meet someone and you're able to um, expose how you feel, when you're able to be transparent and authentic with another soul, with another human being, and you're able to really talk about how you feel and they get you, that's magical. You know, that's something that's undescribable. And that's what he and I shared. Um he was an artist, as you see back there, and he was he had some of his artwork um featured in on Times Square, maybe about right before the pandemic. And he was just a really, really great guy, a fantastic artist. And he inspired me, the things that I'm doing right now, as far as being on camera and really stepping up my textile and jewelry business. He was really supportive of that, and he was just an awesome father, an awesome husband, and he was just very, very inspirational. And having him as a friend and a mentor, that was just, as I said, it was just a priceless moment in time for both of us. And I greatly miss his friendship. I miss hearing him laugh. I miss hearing him tease me. I miss all of those things. And I appreciate, um, if you believe in these things, I appreciate the visit. You know, I appreciate the visit. Even if it was for a moment, I appreciate that. I know I wasn't up here on live crying. I mean, I'm sure you've experienced loss in your life, especially if you have the loss of a close friend. I mean, especially someone that inspires you and someone that is able to enrich your life. And a lot of people say that males and females cannot have friendships. And I have to say that's not true. Male and females can have productive relationships and friendships outside of, you know, sexuality and those things. It it's a matter of trust, I think, and a matter of how you feel about your spouse and the boundaries that you and your spouse have when it comes to those type of relationships. So my husband, he didn't have an issue with my friend Roland, and when I was in the hospital, I had a medical health crisis back in 2017. you know he would call the hospital to speak to me, and my husband didn't mind. We were just really, really close friends. And I treasured that friendship immensely. Immensely, I treasured that friendship. And when I found out that he passed away, that really hurt. That really hurt. Um, Last March, he passed away. So that really hurt me because that was somebody that was a soul that I was meant to connect with, that helped me build a bridge between what I felt was just a hobby. He helped me build a bridge from something that I love being a hobby and an art form to elevating that to a business. And then also showing me how I can sit back and, mentor other people and help them aspire to live a more artistic and productive existence. And that part of our friendship is something that I treasure, and that's why I do what I do today. That's why I'm on YouTube, because um I'm on YouTube and I talk about various different things. I also engage about my life and the things that make this world around here go round. Um, that was because of him. I mean, he was the one that helped push me to elevate my game. So I just cannot believe I'm on YouTube crying. Unbelievable. But anyhow, I started my spring equinox blanket again, and I was working on that this morning while I was listening to uh my master class. I was listening to master class this morning. And do you have a subscription to master class? I have a subscription to master class, TED Talks as well. And I listen to those early in the morning around about 7:30. I get up, make a cup of coffee, and then I come into the tiny studio, or I sit in the great room, and then I listen to master class or my TED Talks for the day. And I find that that routine is very, very helpful because it helps me to jumpstart my day. On Thursdays, I'm not working on any type of uh, writing or journalism of that nature. So I don't have a deadline to meet, because on Thursdays is when my weekly column comes out. So I'm really looking and checking out the column in the newspaper. But on Thursdays, I really, spend that time working on things in a tiny studio, or I'm doing homework or something like that. Now, yesterday, I was supposed to be in my bedroom cleaning up and dusting and all of those things. I was supposed to be mopping my bathroom floor, but I didn't get around to that yesterday because I was stuck on my crochet. So, what was yesterday? Yesterday was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. Yeah, I like to do a lot of things on Wednesday when it comes to housework. Wednesdays is my favorite day. And so I like to, do a lot of cleaning on Wednesdays. But I didn't do too much cleaning. I did a little what did I do? I cleaned oh, hello. Hello, the body positive goddess. Yes, all is well with me today. And hello, Warrior Preeny 11. Hope I said that correctly. Um, so I didn't get any of my usual household chores done. I did do some laundry yesterday, and I realized that my children used of all of my little game boost um modules, or those little boost tablets or whatever that you put at the bottom of the washing machine, and then you put your clothes in, and then you put your laundry detergent in, and whatever fabric softener you're using, whatever. My kids used up all of the little games bounce stuff that I like, and I'm down to like 3 tabs. And I was like, come on now, we're all adults here. I'm not going to continue to buy supply the laundry detergent and the fabric softener and all the other stuff. You guys are going to have to start buying it too. Why am I the only person buying these things when you have to use the washing machine just like I do? So I had to send my family a text message to remind them that there are certain things that they need to continue to do as adults, as if mommy and daddy are not actually running the rules. But let's suppose that they had their own place and they needed to wash some clothes, so they will have to provide their own laundry tabs and a fabric softener and fabric booster, good smelling modules. So today I think that I'm going to have to and you know what my husband used to do to teach my children that lesson? He would go out and, we would go to Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's or something like that. And we would buy a giant thing of Gain and all of that good stuff. And we would just keep it in our room. And then when it was time to wash clothes and do laundry, then we would take it out to the laundry room and we would use it and cart it back to our closet in our bedroom. But trying to get our children to become independent. So when my husband came down, when he, began to battle breast cancer, then we became a little lax on some things. My son was buying laundry detergent, and my daughter was doing it too. But for some reason, it has fallen back on on the parental units to start to supplying the bleach. I think a couple of weeks ago I bought a thing of bleach, laundry, fabric softener. I had to send everybody email reminding them that, listen, I like the community thing. The community thing is really well, but when you see that products are getting low, then what are you going to have to do? What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is, once you notice it, not to wait for anyone else. You can go right on to the store and pick it up too. And that's why I say that when you are a parent and you're a parent of adult children, your parenting becomes a little different, because it's not that I am yelling at my children, I'm demanding them to do WXYZ. What I'm doing is I'm suggesting that this needs to get done. Now, in the event that it does not get done, then what I will do is I'm going to revert back to what I used to do, which is I'm going to head to Target, grab up the items I need for the laundry, and then I'm going to keep them in my closet. And then when I need to wash clothes, I'll take them out and go right onto the laundry room and use them. And that's just going to be that. Because I like my clothes smelling a certain kind of way. My best friend loves to use Tide, but I'm like the Gain person, because I love the way Gains smell. I'm like hooked on Gains. But anyhow, I was working on I frogged my the beginnings of that spring equinox blanket. I frogged it and I started over. And this morning, that's what I was working on as I was watching my master class today, getting motivated for the rest of the day. And that's probably what I'm going to do now. My anxiety has calmed down a great deal. Sometimes I forget that the skills that I've learned to manage my anxiety. And when I forget those skills and begin to have an anxiety attack, um, I have to sit back and calm myself down. And that's what I did. I had to calm myself down, start breathing through this. And then when I started doing that, I remembered, oh, something could have happened. Um, you don't know. Just give her a call, and then, let her know that you can, we can reschedule our mock therapy session. And I'm glad that I did that. And I'm glad that I left her a message and she called me back and she told me what had happened. And so I'm glad I didn't, I try not to, I'm human. I try not to jump to a lot of conclusions and be judgmental, but sometimes it happens, and sometimes this anxiety attack happens. And I really think that, with my husband going through cancer, that my anxiety has really, peaked uh a lot, because when you have a loved one, especially a spouse that's battling, a life threatening disease, it's really, I mean, I want to say my anxiety level was like on 10 all the time, 10 plus all the time. And I never showed him. He didn't know that my anxiety level was way up there, way up to here. But what I tried to do to keep him from knowing that I was just really, really anxiety ridden is that I just tried to put myself in his place. And that's called showing empathy. I tried to put myself in his place and understand how he was feeling. you know. And those are some of the things that we talked about recently. Um, how he was feeling, how he has felt dealing with and going through cancer. My grandfather and my dad died of cancer. And so those were some very tough times for me. Oh, wow. And my great grandfather died of cancer. So three of the most important men in my life has succumbed to cancer. So to see my husband going through it, and I know what the stages are. I understand about the side effects of chemo and radiation, the mental health aspect of it all, the emotional roller coaster that you go through. I had seen that play out, and um, being a wife, though, and you see your husband, going through what he's going through, it was a real wake up call for me. And that made me understand. Maybe I'm already an independent type of woman, but it really made me think about how I move as a woman, how as especially as a black woman, how I see myself in the world, and what my life could possibly be like without my husband. Because people call me, my friends like to call me, I'm a woman of leisure. I'm a woman of leisure. I've had a career, and I have a career right now, of course. But my husband did not mind being the essential breadwinner. He liked that. And I've had, like I said, I've had businesses. We've owned businesses together. I've had a business with, by myself where, I was contributing to the economic stability of the family. And when I became ill in 2017, I had to retire. I was forced to retire from that. And he was able, of course, he didn't have any choice, but he was able to step in and continue to carry the family through. And I jumped back into my career as a journalist around 2020. That's when I jumped back in as a journalist and as a professional book reviewer. And it wasn't, a rush type of thing. It was just something that, I wanted to do. And he supported that. So, as you know, we make no money. We make a little money, but we don't make enough money to, pay the light bill occasionally. We don't make enough money to, whereas we can support a whole household. And so he's always been the one that did those things. So when he became ill, that made me really think about my life as a spouse, because, we already have certain things in place at this young, old age, mature age. We have the 401 retirement, things of that nature. But when you have to live your life on a fixed income day to day, and you suffer the loss of a spouse, those are really difficult moments, especially in a woman's life, because she has to think about, you know, the things that she did not really have to think about when her husband was alive. And I've had three friends that have gone through the unexpected loss of their spouse. And I have seen how they had to maneuver, their lives, coping with loss, and then being the person, being on their own. There are bills that have to be paid still. And, even though you may have your husband's pension and Social Security and things like that, you're really living on a fixed income. So that means that you're only allotted a certain amount every month, and you have to live and act accordingly. And there's not a lot of wiggle room around it unless you have a substantial retirement savings or unless you have some great investments. And so knowing this, I decided that along with my career as a journalist, I was going to step out and go back to school and finish getting my psychology degrees and really put myself in a position where I'm not just working as a journalist or as a contributing writer for a magazine. I'm not just getting those, picking up those checks, but I'm also doing something else, which is beginning to, the plan to have open up my own private office and as a therapist. So that's what I'm working towards right now because when you are and I had someone tell me this a long time ago, when you are a doctor, um, I can work being a doctor in my home all the way up until the day I die. That's something that, excuse me, that's something that cannot be taken from me as long as I make sure I have my license. Uh, you know, I keep up to date with my licensure uh, in the state that I live in. So to me, that's a sustainable situation to, if something were to happen, and I'm not trying to say that, my husband could live another 40 years, 50 years. But the idea is to make sure that me, Nell, that I am able to be a sustaining partner, spouse, and, be in a position that if he were to fall ill again, that I can be able to gainfully support the both of us in a way and in a lifestyle that we have chosen to live. So that's why I am back in grad school, and that's why I am really serious about um, getting my PhD and really there's that word again in my head, really um, elevating my purpose, picking things up to be um, a better Nell, or becoming the more evolved Nell. Because there are a lot of things that's going on in the world today, and you have to know how to pick up money or pick up income, not just one or two ways, and you have to know how to make multiple streams, create or generate multiple streams of income. And I think that's what we need to teach our children too. Teach them how to generate multiple streams of income if they're going to survive in any economy, because eventually they're going to become of age, they're going to become mature, they're going to get to the age of 50, 60 years of life. And you know, you don't want to be restricted. You want to be able to enjoy your life. And my son was talking about he wants to retire at 40. So he is really, stepping up his game in investing and saving and things of that nature so that he can retire at 40. My son is only 27. And see, that is the type of mentality that I've been instilling in my children, because one day, universe willing, you're going to get to be the age of mommy and daddy, and you're going to start considering, hey, I'm going to slow down a little bit here. If today I don't feel like going to work, I don't have to, because I have a savings. I can, I have investments. I have multiple streams of income so that, if I need to, or if it becomes necessary for me to step back a little, I could do so without interrupting the flow of interrupting the flow of my lifestyle. And for me, that is That is how I've raised my children. And, you know, I have family back in the D or in Detroit. And I like to, if something is were to happen like it did the other day, my mom had an accident and she broke her ankle. The first thing that came out of my mouth to my dad was, "Do you need me to come home?" Because I will definitely be on the first Delta flight out of here to come home and help out. That is what you want. You want to be or put yourself in a position where if something were to happen and you needed extra money or you needed to be able to get to somewhere and you needed to buy a plane ticket, you know, to get to where you needed to go, you want to be able to have those funds accessible. You want to be able to say, "Hey, I'm on the next flight out." And that's a position that I've always sought to put myself in because my family lives in Michigan and I live in Florida. So I want to be in a position where if I have to hop on the plane to get to you, then that's no problem. I can do that. My sister lives in Vegas. If there's something that she need, I can be able to get on the plane and hop over there to Vegas and be there in 6 hours to be able to help her out if necessary. So I want my children to understand that having multiple streams of income is what allows you or affords you to be able to do the things that you want to do. If there is a necessity or if a situation arises, you want to always be able to have something to play with and to give you some wiggle room so you can take care of the things that you have to take care of the business that you know that you need to take care of. And I was really happy to be able to say to my family, my mom and my dad, "If you need me to come home, I'll be on the next plane out of here. I'll be on my way home immediately, and I can get there within 2 hours because it takes about 2 hours to get from here to Michigan." So that's what I'm teaching my children. I'm teaching my children that credit and having a savings account and investments, making sure you have your retirement fund set up right now. Those things are essential. Those things are key. So anyhow, like I said, I frogged that blanket, the beginnings of that spring equinox blanket the other day. And so I restarted the blanket. So right now I'm actually on, and I broke it all the way down to the foundation chain. As a matter of fact, I went all the way down I started the whole chain over again. So I started out with 150, I believe. I think it's 150 uh, chains. And then I think I'm on row, yeah, here it is, 150 chains. And that was the foundation chain. And now I am on row 1 of half double crochet. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start some tea. Get some tea going. I think the tiny studio assistant is home. She didn't have to work outside the studio today. And I'm going to get started on that. Well, I am starting on it. I think the first 4 rows of this blanket is going to be half double crochet. And half double crochet is when you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to insert my crochet hook into the stitch. Then I'm going to grab my yarn, pull it through the stitch. So now I have 3 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over and then pull through all the loops on my hook. So I can do that again. Yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, insert my hook through the stitch, grab my yarn. Now I have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all loops. That is the half double crochet. Now I like half double crochet because it's quicker. It's a fast stitch. Um, my favorite go-to stitch is the double crochet. And but for this blanket, I don't want to do a double crochet because of the fact that double crochet has a lot of spacing. And for a blanket, you want to be able to use it. And if it's a cool or chilly night, you want the blanket to warm you up and keep you warm. But if it has a lot of spaces in it or holes in it from double crochet, well then you're not going to get warm at all. So I'm going to get off of this live. I just wanted to come on here to just talk to you guys. And I cannot believe I was on here crying like that though. And I guess it just really came to me that I had dreamed about my friend Roland. I had wondered how I was going to do when the anniversary of his transition came. And as it approached, I was fine. I didn't have an issue. Um, and then for a minute, leading up to the day he transitioned last year, I went on his Facebook page and I saw his last post, and I thought how prophetic of him. And he didn't know that, of course, that he was going to transition, but he was always, when he presented himself on social media, he was always very inspirational, very positive, very upbeat, very introspective. And I went back to his last post a few days before he transitioned, and I felt the waves. I did. And when Facebook alerted me that this one particular day was the day that he passed away last month, um, in March of 2023, I was okay. I was okay. I didn't fall apart or anything, you know. Um, but for some crazy reason, today was the day. Today was the day to fall apart. Oh, it sure was. All right, then. Well, I am going to let you guys go. I'm going to make some tea and prepare for my mock therapy session in a couple of hours. I still need to do some reading and catch up on what it is I need to make sure that I implement in the session. And um that's what I'm going to do. So it was really cool hanging out with you guys today. Thank you for tuning into my live. And I don't know if I'm going to film an episode for of Simply Nails Tiny Studio today because for today, I think this live is fine. I think that's what I'm going to do. Stick with this live because it's about 45 minutes long, and that's good enough. Um, I enjoy interacting with you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and drop down in the comment section. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. And I'm making a goal of hitting um, I would like to hit 2,000 subscribers by the beginning of June. So I want to keep that in the forefront of my mind. 2,000 subscribers by the beginning of June. So let's all push for that. If you're not already subscribed, help a sister out and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm out of here and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.